Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Frogs Insider podcast as we creep ever so closer, much closer to episode 100. We are preparing for Revivalry Week here on Frogs Insider, sponsored as always by the Flying T Club, TCU's NIL collective, the only TCU-sponsored NIL collective. I'm doing something a little dangerous tonight. I have to say, I have to give credit. Two of the people that made me hate Baylor just a little bit less, and at least look at rivalry week with a lot less bitterness and anger. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I don't like when my rivals redeem themselves, but here we are. And I am joined by the cast of Between Two Bears, Dave Campbell's Texas Republic of Football Network most unhinged show, Matt Wilson and Evan Herbert.
There we go.
Don't want to throw the extra R in there. Are here with me both for the first time. This is the first time all three of us have done this together here on the TCU side. So very exciting, very nerve-wracking. Fellas, how are you doing tonight?
Way better than I was.
I should have worn an undershirt and written something like Between Two Bears.
Yeah, B2B 2024.
Yeah. Exactly.
That would have been the move. I was maybe thinking, I don't know if that black shirt says CAB on it or not.
All right.
Ask your OC. He's got
Listener, it is a
spares.
plain black T-shirt, okay?
Inside out. Listen, I'm more interested as far as over-unders, and the over-under of CAB shirts in the stand is Baylor honors its 2014 team that beat TCU but lost a bowl game.
Oh my God.
Or the
I had
score
not
of the
considered
game.
that.
Yeah. So I want to know how many 6158 towels we're going to see, how many CAB, and then like we mentioned before, what are Kaz and Kendall and the spirit of Carlton Buckles going to cross the sideline to be honored at halftime along with the 2014 team, or will they be prepping for a second half? I think that's really the important question here that we're asking tonight.
Pooping and throwing up. That is what I feel like doing right now.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. Can we be done with 6158? Can we acknowledge?
Absolutely.
Nope.
Yeah, you're right. Nah.
Can't do
That's good.
It's fun to remember from the Baylor perspective, but come on.
10 years.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. I think this should be the end of all official recount. Maybe at 20 years we can do a tweet about it or whatever we're doing in 10.
Whatever we're doing in 20 years. Yes, a drone show for every individual.
I'm not so sure,
being.
Matt.
Yeah, I know. Evan.
I was still in college when that happened.
Yeah, Evan's young.
As you know, I'm the youngest person alive. So
yeah, that's true.
How long has it been really? You
Not
gotta ask yourself. Quick question. How spicy are my jokes allowed to be on this pod? Because I have one I'd like to share if it's appropriate. I don't know.
We're on the same network.
Yeah, you've kind of.
I know this may need to be this may need to be cut or bleeped. I was just thinking when they get all the players on the field for the photo, Kendall will probably be invited. He may be looking the other way. He may be looking somewhere off in the crowd. I don't know if he'll be fully locked in and fully present with the team in ways that you would expect for a group picture.
At least for the first
full
half.
Transparency.
The second half, you might.
Please bleep that out if that's not cool or welcome here. I don't know. It was there. You threw it down the middle for me. I'm so sorry.
So much editing work for her.
It's for Jamie. Jamie gets to do this.
I know.
So,
okay, good.
Yeah, Jamie, just if you need to redact the last 60 seconds, it's totally fine. There is, I think if you had looked at this game 3 weeks ago, this preview would have gone a lot differently. I think both fan bases were incredibly down on their programs. And maybe there's just something magical about kicking Tech's, to make you feel a little bit better, right?
It feels great.
It feels great. Whether you do it and just by embarrassing them on their home field, on their homecoming, or you squeak by in what was an otherwise embarrassing game by forcing a fumble, on their final drive. Either one is fine. It's acceptable. We'll take it. But I do feel that beating Tech really did change the trajectory of both of these programs in the second half. And so my first question for you guys is, has Dave Aranda saved his job, or is he at least off the hot seat for the moment?
If the team plays the way they have, during the second half of BYU, the first half of Iowa State, and then the entirety of the last 2 games, this team will likely win 2 or 3 out of the next 4. And yeah, by that, absolutely at that point. All he needs is 2 more wins to make a bowl. And I believe that's been set as the unofficial rumor mill / official rumor mill watermark to reach. Bowl game or bust. I personally see it happening. So yeah, I think so. And I'm happy about it.
Yeah. Earned
that
it,
would
perhaps.
be my follow-up, Evan. Yeah, do you feel like with the GJ Kinney rumors, all of the other things that kind of seems like a foregone conclusion, would you rather keep Dave Aranda and see him kind of run it back next year?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a new feeling for me though. I think I'm still I'm still warming up. I'm warming up to that idea. But yeah, I don't know. I think this year he really had to earn it. And we are unfathomably close to 5-3 right now to 2 of those 3 losses being to undefeated teams. Like, that's good stuff. I feel way better than I did 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, relatable. TCU. Yeah. I mean, we like that UCF choking away that game and losing to Houston at home is just inexcusable. And now all of a sudden, TCU could be looking up at having 1 loss or 2 losses at this point too. Yeah. So it's frustrating, but then you also like that you've seen your team kind of turn the corner. Is it true that Dave Aranda has taken over defensive play calling duties here, and that lines up with some of the improved success? How important is that defensive mind having more control in what's actually happening on the field?
It looks like we're a connected unit again. Last season, the talent was basically the same with the exception of 2 players, Linton and our nose tackle, who I'm forgetting, who has played well. Linton has been impactful. Not trying to negate their impact. No, Cooper Lance was always there, but but the units, the run fits, way better. There's occasionally a bust, but the safeties, who Pallage is hands-on with, they look more in sync with everybody else. It's just a cascading effect. There's been way more QB pressure. It just seems like this unit, while flawed, is just that, a unit again, finally. And they got some impactful playmakers in there too. So, and I think it feels different.
Yeah, and I think there is something to be said about, he's the only head coach who is also a defensive or offensive coordinator this year. And I think it by nature, it requires a lot more power sharing for that, the game day head coaching decisions. And I think a lot of schools might benefit from that sort of structure around head coaching choices on game day, rather than trusting one person with an ego or with a play calling style. Like Joey and Matt Rule, their whole thing is go forward on 4th all the time. And Joey, I don't think that has worked out for him as well this year as maybe he had hoped. So having more voices in that room perhaps could help. So I wonder if you see this strategy maybe poke its head out in other places around the country.
Are you just making a directed attack at TCU's OC? Because I feel like you might be. I feel like you might be just calling.
No, honestly, that one.
Not that you would. But,
not even close to my head. That one was not where I was at that time.
It's just Sonny and KB have been standing a lot closer to each other on the sideline. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I think too, it's gonna be interesting because it does seem like you mentioned the run fits. Baylor's run defense is definitely getting better. You can say the same about TCU, but TCU's run game has been really bad outside of now the Savion Cat.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, so we've got
to have a better name for that.
Yeah, I haven't
Cat, the Sav Cat.
Yeah, Sav Cat. Okay.
Save Cat. I don't know. There's something there.
Okay, we're gonna workshop this throughout the episode. Something's gonna come to us. And I don't know that using a guy that you thought maybe was a 1st or 2nd round pick at wide receiver as your Derrick Henry running back is a good or a bad thing. It's a thing that's working in this moment. But Dave Aranda is definitely the best defensive minded coach that TCU has played so far this year. I think he definitely has him and then Utah. Those are the 2. Baylor and Utah are probably the 2 best defensive strategists.
Not Ted Roof.
R.I.P.
Not
Ted.
Anymore.
Yeah,
that was mean. I didn't mean to be that mean, especially.
No, you can. I'm really mad about losing to UCF the way that we did. So you can throw Ted Roof under the bus. I'm fine. And UCF was my dark horse pick to make the Big 12 championship, and it looked really strong a month ago. Those
Same. Same. I was a KJ Jefferson believer. Yeah, I'm not anymore.
Wasn't, but I was very much this is a down year in the Big 12. This team has an excellent running game. I think they can do enough to win a lot of games. And no, it turns out that TCU was not really good at all in September, and we made them look great. But,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? All that to say is Baylor's defensive run-stopping ability is improving, and TCU is starting to garner something in the run game. Do you see Savion Williams in the backfield as a problem, or do you think that Aranda's going to be able to kind of slow that down and make TCU actually use a running back in the backfield?
We talked a lot about Ollie Gordon today. 13, 14 carries for 70-something yards. Mm-hmm. Banged up Ollie Gordon. Okay.
Whatever's happened to Ollie Gordon this year, but still, he's Ollie Gordon.
I mean, some of the other backs that Baylor has played, they're pretty talented. I'm trying to find the schedule again real quick, but
I mean, you played Utah, Mekhi Bernard. I'm not sure what kind of game he had.
He played well. Like Colorado ran the ball,
ran for a billion.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Iowa State ran for a billion. The smaller, quicker backs have been impacted. Like Taj Brooks, very patient, good running back. Yeah. Only had one really impact play.
Yeah.
But some of these smaller, shiftier backs, Baylor has an issue with. So you want to line up Savion Williams 20 times? That would be not my favorite thing in the world, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, it's TCU still looking for a true running back that can be impactful in the run game. Cam Cook, kind of was the presumed starter. He only got one carry on Saturday. Trent Battle's gotten back healthy. He's probably the one that I would assume Baylor would have trouble with, but he came back to earth a little bit against Tech. And then Jeremy Payne is a true freshman who might be the most complete back on the field today, but is not getting a ton of opportunities. So it'll be interesting to see what Dave Aranda does if he wants to put the game on Josh Hoover's shoulders, who's obviously a very incredibly talented passer, but also has been very turnover prone. It seems like Baylor's defense has been decent against the pass, but this is probably the game they're going to see the most pass-first offense that they've faced so far this year. How are they enforcing turnovers? Will they be able to take advantage of some sloppy play by Josh Hoover, or do you think that Hoover can have another big game against the Bears in Waco?
This is my big fear, is your passing offense. We have been sliced up by the good quarterbacks of this league, right? Shedeur Sanders put like a first-round highlight tape on us.
Yeah, God, he did. That game was... Watching you lose that game that way was the only thing that made me feel a little bit better about losing to SMU when we lost. Like Jamie and I were at the bar drinking beers and just going, this sucks for them. And so I'm glad that we're suffering together.
I mean, there were more than one plays where we got two hands on him and they scored at the end of the play. Yeah. I mean, like, it was insane what he was able to do. So I don't know if Josh Hoover can do exactly that set of asks,
Not that. He's not Shedeur Sanders, yeah.
But, we also got really sliced up this weekend too. Like, Alan Bowman only had one touchdown, but I mean, he threw for like 360 yards on us. So
yeah.
That is the part of our defense I am most worried about, and I feel like you probably have the best set of receivers, maybe outside of Iowa State, that will play probably better than them actually.
Colorado was a little banged up, right? When you guys played, Colorado's probably it's obviously the better passing offense, but it wasn't. I don't think they were whole, and the offensive line was still just coming together for them. So it'll be fascinating. I think Jack Besh is a real matchup problem. For Baylor, they've actually used the tight ends, and there is a guy you guys are really familiar with playing tight end for TCU, and Drake Dabney.
I'm still mad. Yeah, I'm still mad about that.
Yeah,
I forget which game he caught the touchdown in, but it was one of the few times I've tuned into TCU this season. I really tried to tune into TCU Utah. I couldn't.
It was a hard watch. I was there. That was a hard watch. Yeah,
I tried.
9 straight punts by TCU. But
Dabney caught a touchdown. Dabney caught a touchdown, and it was just like, oh my! He was one of my favorite. I always pick weird players to be like the fan of, and Dabney was that. That was my guy. I was expecting a breakout season for him this season, and not so much. At least not in a Baylor uniform. But the tight end, the tight end position hasn't killed us this season. I mean, Iowa State's tight ends always make a play or two.
Yeah,
but it's really just straight up passing downs in general. If Baylor stays ahead of the sticks from a defensive perspective, they're okay. But on passing downs, just straight up passing downs, explosive plays, success rate, it's all not as good.
It is really bad when a quarterback has at least when they get that third second of time to think, we're cooked. I mean, we're fully cooked.
Well, that'll be what's interesting because the offensive line for TCU played better against Tech, but there still has not been a super strong unit. JB shared on our podcast that Carson Bruno, the right guard, his PFF grade was 19.7. It's not on a 20-point scale, unfortunately. So there are still some holes. There's some places to attack. And I would imagine that Dave Randa's well aware of that. It'll be fascinating to see if they're able to make Josh Hoover uncomfortable because he has shown when he's uncomfortable, he is apt to not always make the best decisions. And that's why I think he's thrown 9 or 10 interceptions this season, which is terrifying out of just 7 games or whatever it's been. Let's flip it over to the other side of the ball. It seems like Sawyer Robertson is starting to get comfortable. Still has not the most pure passer you're going to see, but he's a playmaker, and he is obviously starting to feel himself a little bit for Baylor.
Saw Dog. We got a name for him. Saw Con Robertson, right, Matt?
No, ignore him.
I do. I'm gonna mute him manually. Just let him hang out.
The football account has been calling him Saw Dog, and I think I'm in.
Okay.
I think I'm in on it. It's taken a little bit. Like I was being sarcastic with it the first week that I saw it. I think I'm in on it now. He is the biggest surprise of this team by far. We saw like flashes of what he could be. Maybe he's 2 years away from being 2 years away. The famous NBA draft thing, but. This year he comes in, DeQuan Finn is completely rattled in that Utah game, and Robertson comes in and looks serviceable. And then he plays really well versus Air Force. And then he plays even better against BYU after a bad start. But he's gotten better and better every week. That Texas Tech game, 5 touchdowns on 32 throws. And he had 3 touchdowns on 20 throws this weekend.
He ran one in.
Exactly. Like he adds an incredible element with his legs that a lot of people knew that he was mobile, but he has some breakaway. I believe my tweet was @boy can scoot because he can scoot. His straight line speed is pretty good.
He doesn't give a scoot.
Oh boy.
I am most impressed by how calm he is. First drive, Oklahoma State, hand the ball off. Second play, he looked like the first thing that popped into my head when he made a throw across the middle to Josh Cameron was he looks like Cam Ward level of calm back there. Maybe you should care like a little bit more.
Yeah.
Level of calm, but he carried that through the entire game. He threw a really bad pick in the end zone on Saturday. Came back, shook it off immediately, led us on a scoring drive. Like, he feels like he has it. Which we thought that was DeQuan Finn, but apparently not.
Yeah. I'm sold on him too, Matt. I think he's our best quarterback since Seth Russell. And I think
that's a lot.
I think I feel very confident.
Maybe.
Hey,
there hasn't been a lot between there. Like, I don't know that that's a completely
historically
outrageous...
bad quarterback room management by our staff these last 4 or 5 years. So, they gave someone else the job twice. Maybe they learned their lesson with this guy.
Well, we can again relatable.
Yeah.
They tried to sit Max Duggan only for him to finish as the Heisman runner-up, and then tried the Chandler Morris thing again only for Josh Hoover to immediately look like the much better quarterback. Question, though, this is important. Doesn't Sawyer Robertson look like the kind of guy who would give himself the nickname Saw Dog?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
God.
And I think it's likely that he did this time also. I think it's not impossible.
I'm fairly confident that he went up to the social media team and was like, "Yo, it's Saw Dog, my guy." Like, 100%.
Absolutely.
I'm really glad we're in
I had
agreement on
not
that.
considered that. I had not considered that before. It was staring me in the face this whole time.
Yeah, it's like who was the guy, and I think he's in the pros. I cannot remember his name, but that like had the lifted truck and like took like he played for Denver. Man, what was his
Jarrett
name?
Stidham?
Yes, yeah. He gives like off-brand
Actually good Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, like maybe
vibes,
Jarrett Stidham is off-brand Saw Dog. Like that's definitely
off-brand
possible.
Saw Dog. There's something.
I'm a Jarrett Stidham truther, gang. I have to speak my truth. I thought he was so good.
Yeah, look,
I thought he beat Alabama at Auburn. That's all I'm saying.
Professional quarterback.
Making more money than I did this week, that's for sure. Who is Sawdog targeting here? Monterey Baldwin is still a thing. Doesn't seem to be as engaged, active in the offense this year, but probably the guy that still scares me the most, because if there's one thing you could do against TCU, it's run away from their secondary. Although we saw some improvement, but he scares me quite a bit. Looking at the stats here, Josh Cameron is your leading receiver, but you've the guys with the breakaway speed, to no surprise, are Hal Presley and Keytron Jackson are the guys that are kind of the big play guys. But Josh Cameron's your red zone threat, the guy that leads the team in touchdowns. How do you see them matching up against a secondary that has shown a propensity for giving up big plays, but that has gotten some better safety play here in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, good question. I think if we get the Sawyer of the last 2 weeks, I would wake up feeling very comfortable on Saturday. But he still doesn't have that many game reps, so it's really hard to say if it's just been a good month of October or if there's like something really cooking here. Matt, we haven't talked about this, but my favorite receiver on our team, I guess he's a tight end, is Michael Trigg. I think he hasn't really found his ceiling quite yet. But I have so much faith when he has the ball in his hands or when we're targeting him. He makes a couple of very, very silly plays every game, but like a true NFL red zone threat if he does scratch like the ceiling of how good I think he is. And he knows Plies personally. So that's been
apparently
for us.
Plies. If for some reason
Plies, come on the pod.
If for some reason you listen to Frogs Insider instead of Between Two Bears, Plies, please come on Between Two Bears. Yeah. Please. We got to talk about Michael Trigg.
We did have 2 Chainz at TCU last week for Schulmeyer Live. Which
really?
was pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's cool. What kicked off basketball season for us.
It's a vibe. Dang.
It's a vibe.
You think we'll get David Crowder, Matt? You think we got David Crowder kicking off the season for us?
Or the kid singing
if he's not busy.
The new song, yeah.
The new song.
Yeah, you'll have to go look it up. There's a new Baylor commercial.
Sounds like the others. Still good.
It's not the worst. Not the worst.
Okay.
I listen to him personally in my personal music collection. I listen to him very much. I'm a huge fan. If that means anything.
Tell me the name again.
Yeah, what's his name?
He's Forrest Frank. That's his government name. His older brother was my welcome week leader. Can you believe that, Matt? His older brother and his now sister-in-law were my welcome week leaders.
Your whole life is a Waco Spider-Verse.
Forrest almost subleased from me once when I moved to Austin. I mean, we were in real talks.
How do you have stories like this every single time?
You know how small Waco is? You do know how small Waco is.
I do.
Yeah.
I feel like Jake Spavital and I are different in a lot of ways, but
a couple. I can think of 2 or 3.
One way we're very similar is we see, whether in real life or like in college football 25, we have a weapon on our offense and we're like, oh my God, oh shit, we got to use this. We got to figure out how to get that. And it felt like for the first 4 or 5 weeks, he was trying to force the ball to Monterey Baldwin. And it felt forced. Now, maybe it's only 2 or 3 touches a game, but it's coming in the flow of the offense. And now that there's a real passing threat, the running lanes are opened up. It just feels like this offense is a lot more balanced, and so you are able to take more comfortable shots to the sideline to a Hal Presley, who is maybe the most underrated receiver on this team. You get to take a 33-yard shot to Ashton Hawkins and let him go make a play like he did on Saturday, making you got mossed at number 2, I think.
Number 2.
It was really nice to see Michael Trigg get an early target. Like, there are weapons out there. It's just a matter of, can Spav maintain balance and not start pressing and feeling forced to hit certain buttons in this offense. So,
well, and I think the defense coming along is a huge piece of that, right? We're not giving up 21 points in the first 6 minutes of the game as much as we used to. So the playbook stays a little more wide open for a little bit longer.
Well, and I imagine you'll be able to establish the run game a bit on Saturday as well. TCU's run defense has definitely improved, and I was happy with the way they corralled Taj Brooks. Still had a big game, 120 yards, but he needed 30 carries to do it. Had a long of 12, and so they've definitely improved. They did a great job against Mekhi Bernard, but I think where Baylor is a little bit different is you're not going to see that one kind of bell cow running back, because they're going to throw a bunch of different types of guys at you, which I think could be challenging for a defensive front. What are kind of the strengths of each of these running backs? I mean, it's pretty balanced. Bryson Washington has 70 attempts. Dawson Pendergrass has 56. Sawyer himself, Sawdog, has 39. Richard Reese, Richard Reese is still on this team. Like, how old is this guy? He's got 49. And then former, TCU commit Dominic Richardson, also a little bit of a problem there with 31 carries. Yeah. The first 3 guys are all averaging, almost 4.5 or above. So definitely some firepower.
That's actually news to me.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we got before the season started. That was something me and Matt talked about. I mean, we got a room full of dogs. We got a kennel. We're operating a kennel in North Waco. Room full of dogs.
I'm out on the whole Saw Dog thing now. You guys, this is both of you have completely ruined it for me.
All right.
Well, I was hoping to. So. I think Evan's being very authentic in this moment, and that's fine. We're happy for him. Yeah.
All I can do is tell you the truth, Matt. You know that.
Do you have a defensive line that wants to arm tackle, right? If you have a defensive line that only wants to arm tackle, Dawson Pendergrass is going to be your guy. Do you have a defensive line or a linebacking crew that just kind of plays straight up, but isn't really going to make dynamic plays every single time? That's going to be Bryson Washington.
I'm sorry, I got super distracted because Cute Puppy just poked in the frame.
That's my boy Albie back there. He's a big idiot.
Albie?
He's lucky he's brave.
Hey, Albie. Yeah, he is.
If you just need your best overall back, that's going to be Bryson Washington. If you have a defense on the other side that's tired and you need a little bit more speed, Richard Reese is going to be your guy. Dominic Richardson has either been banged up or I don't know, but he hasn't played that much over the last 3 or 4 weeks. But he hasn't really been missed.
With the other guys you've got, I'm not.
Yeah, I think we assumed we may need him more, and I think Matt called it before the year started. Matt really was a big Dawson Pendergrass believer before the season got going, and he's been proven right. I mean, he has been. We talked about it today. We haven't had like a true Marshawn Lynch threat back there since I can remember, and I feel a little bit of that whenever he's moving. He had his touchdown this week. He ran through and like around people all the way there. I mean, it was crazy.
6.5 yards per carry on 56 total attempts. Just 2 touchdowns, but a long of 55. Bryson Washington, 5.4 yards per carry on 70 attempts, 3 touchdowns. And then the aforementioned Richard Reese, 4.4 yards per carry on 49 attempts. So a lot of balance. And like you said, like a lot of different ways to attack. A defensive front for TCU that I was really down on here a couple weeks ago, but has really showed me something. The thing that you'll notice when you watch TCU is the first guy is not often bringing the back down. But what's happening is they are all swarming to the ball the way we did not see through the first half of the season. And I think that's going to be super important against Baylor on Saturday, is that kind of gang tackling mentality, because like you said, each of those guys can do a different thing and attack a defense a different way. So it's going to take, 4, 5, or 6 guys run into the ball to make something happen and to stop Baylor from getting too comfortable on the ground and opening things up for Robertson over the top. One thing I did notice with Baylor's offense, though, and this might be where you're seeing trends start to change, the red zone has been a problem. The red zone efficiency has been an issue. TCU struggled with a lot of the same things as well. What do you think is holding Baylor's offense back in the red zone, or are you starting to see that trend change here over the last couple of weeks?
Executive functioning. I think we just get to the red zone and we're like, oh, now we're supposed to score, and you just have that natural rejection of like authority and being told what to do. I think if we score from 40 yards out, everybody's happy.
Hey, that's fine by me.
It's mostly been, I think, a mixture of trying to figure out what plays to call, not really understanding how this roster is adjusting to the new offense. They've thrown in some interesting wide zone schemes just in the run game in general. There was a really cool play call this week. It was a QB power fake. The backup, I think the third string tight end leaks out just for a little pass in the flat, wide open for a touchdown. If we're starting to get comfortable like that, I think we'll see the red zone issues be mitigated a little bit. But this isn't going to be a team that is going to get a massive offensive line push. Everybody goes and pushes for a yard and allows us to score. I just don't think that's the team that's built this way.
When it feels a lot like with this special, I mean, it really did hurt us at the beginning of the season, right? Like we lost to Colorado on a goal line fumble, right? Like that's how we lost. And I think that's right. I started to bring that up, Matt. And what I've noticed is it feels like Spaff has learned what he can ask of this offensive line, and he's just having them only do that. I think they have. This is like a pure guess on my side, but it feels like he sort of narrowed his expectations. Whereas maybe at the beginning of the years he was asking them to do maybe some more complex things that this line just like isn't equipped to do, and it made our offense look like dog shit. I mean, it looks so bad.
Ask not what your offensive line can do for you, but what you can do for your offensive line.
Exactly.
Jake Spavital 2024.
That's right.
Another dog reference.
Write it on my shirt when we score.
Is that our tattoo bet? I mean, I don't know. Like, is that
Matt? We should do a tattoo bet. Let's decide it right now, Matt.
JB and I talked about it. Yeah.
I'm willing to hear you guys out on what this would be.
Would you like to know what Jamie has suggested?
Yes.
That is one of the scariest things anybody has ever asked
100%.
me, but sure.
Jamie thinks that if TCU wins, you guys should both get script frog on your wrist, which I think is a little aggressive.
On our wrist?
I think it's a little aggressive. And that I should get Sailor Bear, but I can put mine somewhere that's not as visible. Like that was, and again, that's
I think you can get a cool one.
Cool.
So I think that's too high stakes.
Okay,
because we're friends. We're friends.
Yeah, we're friends. We're friends.
I think that's too high stakes. Nobody would enjoy that.
Frog script is so funny on our wrist, just like a little heart.
Ev, you know the frog mural in Austin?
Oh, I know the frog mural in Austin.
The little alien guy?
That's something I might be willing to put.
Okay.
Somewhere.
You see, I feel like I'm on a different page than you here, Matt. I would want to get something really hyper specific to this.
To this particular game?
I think the real estate of your inner lip is highly undervalued when it comes to tattoos.
Evan, I won't even kill you. My wife will kill you.
When was the last time your wife saw your inner lip?
Hey, listen.
I'm talking about where a tattoo would go.
Very private conversation.
No. Here's what I'm asking, Matt. If you do this, when was the last time she saw this? When was the last time anyone saw that? I'm just saying it's safe. I would get frog script there way before I get it on my wrist. Way before.
And I could get Sikkim?
Yeah. Listen, you guys both need.
I don't know if I can do it. That sounds really painful.
No, it's all
a
fatty
tattoo
tissue.
person
You just hang out. You know what's funny? The reason I know this, I have a friend from Baylor. She got 6158 tattooed on her inner lip that weekend. That's how I know.
Insane. There's no way.
There's no way that's real.
I've talked about her before on our podcast.
You probably have.
You can crop her face out, but I'm gonna need a screenshot. Like,
okay, I'm gonna do a deep dive.
A 6158
Carter Rodman,
tattoo.
If you're listening, could you please send me that picture? I know you have it. I know you have it.
Wow, I just called her out. That is.
Well, we're gonna bleep her government name here. I don't think she would really like this very much.
I'd be willing to do the Austin Mural Frog. I'd be willing to do the
Austin Mural Frog. Okay, yeah. I like the Austin Mural Frog. Do I still
how do you
go
connect
Sailor
that
Bear?
to us, Matt? You know, that's what I'm asking.
You would get a matching Austin Mural Frog to
just of
commemorate
a
the game,
subject
but also your time in Austin.
Oh my! We are celebrating my time living in Austin.
I like
Okay.
I like
Hey,
this.
I'm
This
in.
is good.
I'm in. I'll get it on my leg. I'll do you one better. I'll get it on my leg.
Wow. You're going to go right to the leg. Okay.
Straight to the leg.
Sailor Bear versus Austin Mural Frog on this game Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Are you really willing to sign up for a Sailor Bear?
I mean,
That's
I don't
crazy.
really want to.
You're a crazy person.
I am.
I'd be willing.
Why would you get it?
To let you go with any like bear iconography.
Could I go with the California Golden Bear?
No,
okay,
you can't do. Well, okay. I'm willing to accept that.
Okay.
No flag though.
No.
This
flag,
really
no.
is the Gary Patterson Bowl. Do y'all think about that? Winner gets custody of Gary. We get that statue. If we win, you got to bring that statue to
He
Waco.
already emancipated from us. He already emancipated.
He
from
did.
us.
Yeah,
I know, but he's still getting a W. He's still getting a W-9 at the end of the year.
He has an apartment, and it's just the mattress on the floor with the guitar.
Yeah, what do you think
next
he's
to it.
doing?
And
He was at
going to
TCU.
Scruffs.
He's at TCU all the time. He's
Oh,
been
he
at
is.
TCU for almost every home game.
Just playing acoustic guitar in the quad.
Yeah, exactly.
Just hanging, flip flops on.
Like I just can. Like, cause you know, Art's been around, right? And so, like, could you imagine those two crossing each other in the concourse and what that'd be
That's
like?
okay. If
I
that
wonder what
happens
that
at
energy would be
homecoming,
like.
I'd be okay with Art coming back.
Steel
to
cage
homecoming.
match.
If steel cage match in the very semi-pro esque, like you throw them both in a cage and maybe a life bear too. I don't care. That's fine.
And a horned frog.
Well, actually,
and a horned frog.
You guys are probably more well versed with their like interpersonal relationship. I wasn't fully tapped in at that point.
I think they legitimately hate each other.
I know for sure Gary hated Art. I wasn't really sure about how Art felt. Yeah, no.
You gotta give
Gary was early.
He was right. Gary was super early.
I've told Matt this before. There was an Our Daily Bears tweet from like 2013 that was like, did Gary Patterson just insinuate that there's something going on in the locker room in Waco?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes,
Where does he and like it was like a
no.
news cycle in the Baylor universe. And like what, 12 months later?
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
Gary's check is cleared over here with me for a while. I'll be honest with y'all.
For his flaws, he was dead right on that one.
He was.
He
really was. Matt, do you think that post is still live? I don't know how I
am
would
begging
find
you
that.
not to go look it up.
Okay.
I will have it deleted before this is.
That's what you're gonna get tattooed on your.
Oh yes, just the hype. Just
worst.
a QR code leading to that post. Now we're cooking.
I hate both of you so much.
I'm telling you, we just got to chew on this a little bit.
I'm not doing any more chewing.
A Spotify code to like the other team's fight song is on the table.
I like
good.
that one.
That's really
you're
really putting yourself in a box here, Matt.
I really like that idea. I do like a QR code to the most embarrassing tweet from Frogs War or Our Daily Bears.
Oh yeah.
Go back
now
to
we're
the
cooking.
SB Nation days. This could get really ugly for both of us. I'm here for it.
I gotta sleep on this.
Hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it out to the people. Like with this post, I'm gonna on Twitter. Please respond to this post. I'll clip this little section here and tell us what is the worst acceptable, because that is important. We all have jobs, I think. Evan, right? Maybe.
I'm employed.
Just checking. I know you have been at times.
Against all odds,
yeah,
I
against
am
all
employed.
odds. But I do work with children, so we do need to keep it relatively appropriate. But I am game for, and like Jamie said, it's not that big of a deal for me because I have many tattoos. But I'm game for the people to weigh
I just got the one.
one.
I'm one for one. I'm batting 1,000. I don't want to take the half court shot before the buzzer sounds.
See, Matt, I think you need to reframe this.
Okay.
I tell people one of my limbs, my right leg, reserved fully for silly tattoos. I've got the real estate for this.
Yeah,
okay,
that's good.
Right.
I like it.
Fair.
Not to get off the important part of this conversation, but both these teams now on 2-game winning streaks. Both of these teams feel like they're finding their identity.
Mm-hmm.
I think Baylor is a slight favorite. It looks like, I think the last I checked was a slight favorite.
6.
Is it that
That's
many?
surprising to me. I would have guessed maybe 4.
I will get the most recent number.
We will vamp while you do so.
From an unnamed book.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think I've told you both before. The better team hasn't won this game in about a decade. It just hasn't happened. So I'm fearful. I'm fearful here, Matt.
It's not 6. I was thinking of last week.
Is it 3.5?
It opened at 2, and it is now 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
and that
3 feels right.
I think these are two teams trending the same. They've been trending the same direction all year, right? I think Baylor has lost to better teams than TCU has lost to. So I don't know if you like take the moral victory aspect into this, but these are two very similar teams that do some things really well, that struggle in other areas, but are capable of getting hot at the right time and kind of bowling you over. We saw you guys do that in Lubbock, and I mean, thank you, like, for really sending that team on a downward spiral.
I mean, anyone can beat Joey.
They really looked like Jamie said that he thought they were going to the Big 12 championship, and they have completely unraveled since. So thank you, Jamie, as well, for that reverse jinx.
They thought that too.
Yeah, and they had a pretty good path, but here they are sitting, I think, behind TCU and just one spot ahead of Baylor at this moment. So how do you see, not for long, how do you see Saturday playing out? Does Baylor hold serve, or is this another? I mean, we remember what happened the last time TCU was in Waco, but we also know they're celebrating one of the worst times that TCU was in Waco on Saturday night.
I think these teams are. This is going to be like if the 61-58 game was like Mario and Luigi, this is going to be like a Wario Waluigi type of game.
Okay,
like that amount of points can still happen on this field, but for more of a lack of talent than of a presence of talent in specific places. Like I do think our running game at its best could put up a lot of points, but I also think your passing game very likely could do whatever the hell it wants all day. And that's what makes me scared here. What do you think, Matt?
Is Savion Williams really 6'5"?
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
That's a big dude. He's 6'5", and he's been clocked at over 22 miles per hour. Like Darius Davis speed.
That is a freight train.
I'm choosing not to believe that. I don't like that. It does not make me happy.
I mean, did you see him run away from Tech? I mean, the dude, like, when he gets going full speed, he will run away from you, and it's shocking every time.
Mm-hmm.
I am... looking at this TCU roster, and I do see Muskogee, Oklahoma. I like that. That makes me happy.
Okay.
As someone who has kin that hails from Muskogee, like that.
You got to say kin
I'm okay
when you're
with
talking
that.
about Muskogee, yeah.
But I see the Woodlands, South Lake,
There
Danville, California.
Turn it up.
Where Danville is.
Turn it up.
Danville is the South Lake of California.
Oh, Sugarland. I can't really talk too much shit about Sugarland. My wife's from Sugarland. And, I'm just like, names
Soft.
like, our leading receiver's name is Jack. And
Homeboy's from Louisiana. He's built different.
Let me cook.
Louisiana
here.
Jacks are a different breed.
This is
That's
the meanest
true.
I've been all evening. I actually got mad because you called out the discrepancy between the losses of the two teams and like quality of the loss. I couldn't even call it out because you called it out.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was upsetting
I'm
to me.
self-healing here.
I know. That was upsetting to me.
So, Matt, I apologize. Besides, you're my guest, and I'm not being very good host.
This game is never fun to watch.
No.
Amen.
I predict the same for this weekend. I think the environment will be really, really good. It is a blackout game. It is in the evening. Baylor has not had a true night game in what feels like forever at home.
Mm-hmm.
I think the excitement is there. I know of multiple people coming in from out of state. I can't get a ticket right now. It is a game where this fan base truly has hope for the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm. The vibes are the best they've been in a long time.
I know, for 2 years, truly 2 years. This is going to be an extremely close game, and what Baylor has showed me over the last 2 weeks, being able to respond, the same thing that TCU has shown me, like being able to respond, being down, having weird stuff go against them, and still pulling out a win. I think this is going to be a game that is decided by 3 points or less, maybe 4, right? But
I don't like this.
I think with the home field advantage being in Baylor's favor here, I think Baylor finally breaks the streak of however many years it's been now. I don't like it.
I think 5 in a row.
We don't need to think about the
last time was
I was just
the Matt Rule field goal
referring.
game.
Yeah. That triple overtime. Is that the last win? That triple overtime game in Fort Worth?
I'm nearly positive. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't feel good. Also, the weather might really be an issue here Saturday.
Oh, really?
Thunderstorms are predicted. I don't know what the timing of this storm is, but we are supposed to be getting some pretty bad weather coming through, and it's supposed to last through Saturday. So that could make things weird.
If
right now, it's saying late morning, early afternoon.
Okay,
over by 4-ish.
Yeah. If it's raining,
you know about the Texas weather. It's consistent, predictable.
Who knows?
Yeah. If it's raining, I think that gives an advantage to Baylor. But we've seen some crazy things happen in weird weather games between these two teams.
That 2015 game was one of the ugliest displays of football I have ever seen in my entire life.
2021, was another one. Wasn't that a really gross weather game?
Yeah.
Like last year or 2 years ago, the Bazooka on the Brazos, I had food poisoning and it was 30 degrees and I was literally could not feel my fingers and had to go to the press box once a quarter just to defrost.
Yeah,
that was also terrible. So nothing. I think Matt, I think you're right. This is going to be awful. It will be amazing and also not enjoyable whatsoever. Yeah. I'm hoping for some bad karma by them choosing to honor the 2014 team that beat TCU but did not win a bowl game. And I'm choosing to believe there will be a lot of CAB shirts in the stands because it's a blackout. And so I do think some of the fan base rolled that out. I think that's bad karma. And I'm willing to put bad karma on my side to help TCU get a win.
I don't know. I think you're right. I think the team with the Bryles on the sideline is really going to have some bad karma flowing through their side of the stadium.
Thank God then we're playing in a toilet bowl. So
Thank
just flush
God.
it right out to the Brazos. Yeah.
We got a big ass TV on the outside of it now, though.
Do you really?
We do. They put up a big old screen on the outside.
Oh, and they posted about it as if it was a big butt. I did not.
Yeah, they posted. They definitely posted
like
an
biggest
ass caption.
dumpy in the land or something.
Yeah.
Way worse than that.
Like
no, that's incredible.
Let me find that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you get a QR code to that tweet.
Oh, now that would be some good stuff.
That would be some good stuff.
I have it.
Flat so back you can see
the largest backside display in the country with a eye emoji.
Backside. Yeah, they didn't think that one through. I don't think.
No, they knew what they were doing.
You think
they
so?
Knew what they were doing.
I don't know. Like, if they did, I credit Baylor's social media team because that's.
Well, we did win the butt bowl right before that, So
did win the butt bowl right
before it. Spoils, things of that nature,
Things of that nature. Friends, as per always, an utter and absolute delight. I hate you both for making me a little bit less angry about Baylor, just in general.
We're sorry.
The Baylor Twitter community that I've cultivated for myself is pretty wonderful. So I guess every school does have its redeeming qualities. We're gonna hammer down this tattoo bet.
All right.
I'm 100% game. I'm not afraid of you. I'm terrified of this game, but I'm willing to put it all on the line. It's what we do around here at Frogs Insider. But most importantly, where can folks find your work?
Listener, we'll tag our LinkedIn. We'll tag our LinkedIn below. You can find us.
Okay, let me rephrase. Let me start this over. I'm going to back it up.
I have a dissertation I'd be happy to share with all of you.
I take back everything I just said.
I'm sorry. I'm being rude. I'm so sorry.
Much.
I'm sorry.
No, please be rude. Like, again, I would like to engender a little bit of hate and during Revivalry Week. Where can people find your nonsensical ramblings and general dysfunction?
Much better.
Okay,
at Matt is Bear on Twitter is the best place to go. It's a very specific life choice, especially if you're not a Baylor, Rockets, or Texans fan. But we like to have fun. We make fun of the people that need to be made fun of, no matter what color they're wearing. So
amen.
That's right. You can find me at Dale's Dad 12. My dog's name is Dale. I'm his dad. On Twitter. You see what I did? You get it?
Yeah.
Listener, you probably don't want to follow me. I only talk about what it's like to live in Chicago. That's kind of it. Hey, so if you're interested in that, join in.
Yeah, it's good. It's good things.
Hey, got a question. Is one of the lakes outside of Chicago, the border of that lake, is that a beach, Melissa? Would that be a beach?
Now think carefully.
No,
it would not be a beach.
No.
I rest my case. That's all I have to say. It's not a beach.
But I also would not count any bodies of water that touch edges of Texas as beaches either.
What is a beach? That's what I want to know. You tell me what a beach is, man.
A beach is a place, and again, coming from a Californian, is a place where you're not afraid to take off your shoes and wade into the water.
Well, you're just a pansy if you don't take them off in Galveston.
Wait, let me put. I'm gonna before we hang this up.
No, you can play him out. Just start your outro music. That's what I do every week. Just start your outro music as he's talking.
Imagine I've been to a Chicago beach, and it was cold. Not a beach.
I don't know. I swam in it. I drank. I was floating in it earlier this summer. And here's the good news. I'm sending you a picture of the worst part of the beach, and it's still really nice. It's instead of sand, it's concrete, but there is sandy beaches. I mean, there's true sandy beaches with like volleyball courts.
Backwards Baylor logic I've ever heard.
No.
Here's my nicest beach. It's not sand, it's concrete.
No, I said it was beach.
That is trying to say Waco is a really nice town in Texas.
Don't put that on Baylor.
We hang banners in Waco. All right, it's a great town.
We have to have something to hang the banners on. We can't hang them on sand. Now I'm on Evan's side for some reason.
How did that happen?
Get us out of here.
Yeah.
You're letting us ruin your day.
No, this is making my day legitimately. We're gonna do this again, Shock Hoops, at some point. Because that's been fine, and then we're gonna live stream the tattooing of whatever it ends up being. But for this moment, I'm gonna get my live reaction to the photo that Evan just sent, because again, this makes for great radio.
Now, do a thought exercise with me, okay? Look at this picture, and in your head, just imagine that I had just texted you and said, "Hey, I'm going to Miami. Are you familiar with this beach?" Now, like, keep that thought in your head while you look at this picture, and tell me if you would say, "Oh, that's not a beach. That doesn't look like a beach to me."
I would say that's definitely not Miami because it's above water. But it does look very nice. And Chicago is quite possibly my favorite big city in America. So
I think it is the greatest city in America.
I'm a big fan of Chicago. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Chicago. Next time I'm up there, we'll get together.
We'll get tattoos. The three of us will get tattoos.
Yes, this sounds like a great plan. I'm here for it. Can't wait.
I'm into it.
Do it together. We can all get the Austin Frog mural because that is a great tattoo, an outstanding tattoo in Chicago of all things. Gentlemen, and I use the term loosely, thank you so much for joining. This was exactly what I thought it would be, and that's all I'll say about that. Thank you to everybody that tuned in to the Frogs Insider preview show. TCU-Baylor, Saturday night, 7 p.m., blackout game in Waco, honoring the 2014 team, ergo bringing back up 6158 for potentially the last time. We for all three of us, on behalf of both of our shows, thank you, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Republic of Football Podcast Network. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be a part of that, especially because we get to do stuff like this. And thank you, as always, to the Flying T Club for their support, not just of the Frogs Insider podcast, but of TCU student athletes across the board. With that, go Frogs.
Chicken Bears.
Chicken Bears.
Chicken Bears.